Welcome back, folks. We got a brand new trial starting here on your front row seat to justice. It involves the murder of a former NBA star, Lorenzen Wright. Chanley Painter, Court TV legal correspondent, has the story.
Billy Ray Turner, good morning, sir.
Hello, sir.
Billy Ray Turner is one of two accused killers in the murder of NBA star Lorenzen Wright.
The Los Angeles Clippers select Lorenzen Wright from the University of Memphis.
A first-round 7th overall draft pick in 1996, Wright went on to play 13 seasons in the NBA before retiring in 2010. Wright's body was discovered in these woods a few days after his mother reported him missing in July of 2010. According to the medical examiner, he had been shot multiple times, suffering gunshots to the head and chest. His 6'11" frame so decomposed, he weighed 57 pounds at autopsy.
Because he put it on me because he knew I was going to take care of him.
The mystery surrounding his death baffled investigators for years, until a break in the case led to this announcement in 2018.
This morning, the Shelby County Grand Jury indicted Billy R. Turner for the premeditated first-degree murder of Lorenzen Wright.
Turner wasn't the only suspect. Wright's ex-wife, Sherra, was also indicted. In 2019, she pleaded guilty for her role in the murder and was sentenced to 30 years in prison. But Turner denies any involvement in Wright's death.
He wants, his day in court.
And so does Wright's mother.
I want a trial because I want to know everything.
Deborah Marion has been waiting more than a decade for answers, but the wait for justice has taken a toll. And at this hearing, she cannot contain her emotions.
How could you have murdered my son? That's what I need to know, just how.
The outburst prompts a sympathetic but stern rebuke from the judge.
Ms. Wright, I understand your pain. You're not doing a member of your son. Good. And you're not helping your son. You're not helping the administration of justice by engaging in that sort of an outburst. Do you have any questions, ma'am?
No, I told him what I want to say.
So please don't do that again.
Billy Ray Turner faces life in prison if he is convicted of first-degree murder.
And I know that judge understands her pain. He's probably seen it many, many times inside his courtroom. I'm still amazed in how we don't see that in almost every case, every murder trial that we cover, that the loved ones are able to hold it in. Let's bring in Court TV legal correspondent Chanley Painter, joining us live tonight from Memphis, Tennessee. Chanley, great to see you. Let's start first with the latest. I know there was some jury selection taking place today. Where are we?
Well, we have a jury now. After a day of jury selection, here's what the jury of 12 with 3 alternates looks like. We have 8 women, 7 men, Vinny. Of the women, 5 appear to be black, 3 appear to be white. Of the men, 3 appear to be black, 4 appear to be white. And this jury was impaneled after an afternoon of questioning from the prosecutor, from the defense, prosecution focusing in on conspiracy as its theme so that the jury would understand what it takes to have a conspiracy here in the state of Tennessee. The defense, on the other hand, focused on whether or not they would hold it against Billy Ray Turner for not testifying in his own defense. Now this jury, after being impaneled, will show up here at the courthouse tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, for opening statements, Vinny. And get this, they're going to be sequestered for the remainder of this trial. That means their phones will be taken away from them tomorrow for the duration of this trial. They will be able to call their loved ones at night using a phone provided by the sheriff's office. They will be in a hotel. They do have their own rooms this time, but they will be in a hotel without televisions. And if they want to bring some reading material to pass the time when they don't have a cell phone, they can bring non-crime related materials to read. And so likely, because of this sequestration, we will be in trial this weekend on Saturday and Sunday, Vinny.
Fascinating approach. All right, let's get to the defendant here, Billy Ray Turner. What exactly is he charged with here?
He's been indicted for 3 felony counts, including the first-degree premeditated murder of Lorenzen Wright in July of 2010, Vinny. He's also facing the facilitation of first-degree murder. That's that conspiracy count, that conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. And then criminal attempt to commit first-degree murder here. There's allegedly was an attempt on Lorenzen Wright's life in the months and weeks leading up to his actual murder. That's all going to be before this jury. Billy Ray Turner has been incarcerated since he was arrested and indicted in 2017, Vinny, and he was a former deacon in his church. He was, quote unquote, an associate of the ex-wife of Lorenzen Wright, her yard man at the home at the time this all happened. So it'll be very, very interesting. In fact, I think the whole town here is really on pins and needles to hear those opening statements tomorrow to really answer some of these lingering questions that have been nearly 12 years in the making.
I remember covering this so long ago. I am shocked that we finally have gotten to trial here. All right, a couple big names that I think we got to keep an eye open for as we watch this trial. Let's start with Jimmy Martin.
Jimmy Martin is the prosecution's star witness. This morning, the prosecutor telling reporters he will be called in their case in chief. Jimmy Martin, Vinny, is the one who broke this case wide open. This murder went unsolved for 7 years until Jimmy Martin. So who is he? Well, he's the cousin of Lorenzen Wright's ex-wife, Sherra. He was a wannabe rapper, and he's also a convicted murderer. So what we know about Jimmy Martin is that he was on trial in 2009 for the murder of his girlfriend. That ended in a mistrial. So a retrial was had in 2012. He was convicted of second-degree murder, but he was out on bond for those 3 years between the two trials. That is the time that Lorenzen Wright was murdered. A lot of people regret that he was out on bond during that time. We also know that Sherra Wright, his cousin, said that her husband paid for Martin's legal fees. May have something to owe her, Vinny. Well, now Jimmy Martin is pointing the finger at Billy Ray Turner, Sherra Wright as the ones responsible for Lorenzen's murder. In fact, Jimmy Martin led investigators to at least one of the murder weapons in this case that he helped dispose of at a lake in Mississippi. And that's what led to all of these arrests.
All right, finally, Sherra Wright, what can you tell us about her?
Well, of course, she's the ex-wife of Lorenzen Wright, married for many years. They had 6 children together, actually 7. One passed away very young. And she was divorced from Lorenzen about 5 months before he went missing and was found murdered. She is a co-conspirator indicted here. But, Vinny, she, to the shock of many, pled guilty in 2019 to lesser counts here. She pled guilty to facilitation of first-degree murder and facilitation of criminal attempt to commit first-degree murder in exchange for a sentence of 30 years with her good behavior, eligibility for parole, Vinny. She's expected to be out by 2026. But at the time she pled guilty, her attorneys did speak after this, and they said that if she would have gone to trial, she would have pointed the finger at abuse from Lorenzen Wright to her and her children for the years even after the divorce, still would not leave her alone. That's why she hired Turner and Martin to do away with him. Since then, though, she's been incarcerated, Vinny. She's changed her story several times. She's withdrawn her part in the plot. Even still, she's spending this time behind bars. Not sure, though, if she will actually be a part of this trial and testify against Billy Ray Turner.
All right, Chanley Painter in Memphis tonight. Thank you so much. We'll be checking in every night as this trial begins. Let's bring back in our think tank, Carnell Crossland, Jennifer Brandt, Al Wunsch. Jennifer Brandt, I'm wondering, Sherra Wright, what possible motive could someone who's already divorced have to get rid of the ex? Is there an advantage to no longer having your ex around? And your thoughts, because this is your area.
Oh, for sure, Vinny. I mean,
not murder, but family law. Thank you. Sorry, I want to clarify that.
Thank you, Vinny. Thanks for that clarification. Of course, I mean, there's so many emotions that run high in divorce cases. And when you have a loving relationship, you know that can turn to hate. And there may be lingering financial connections between these two. Did he have a life insurance policy on his life for her benefit? Was there an incentive for her to want to get rid of him? You know, she claims, or she has said in the past, that he was abusive. I mean, could that be? Is it someone who's a battered woman type of issue going on here? Well, there could be a slew of reasons why she would want her husband to be gone, her ex-husband to be gone. None of them are certainly justification for what she allegedly did, but certainly there's high emotions and could be a lot of lingering anger and upset from the divorce itself and their prior relationship.
Al Wunsch, again, I introduced you, former prosecutor. So how do you get a jury to believe your star witness, the convicted murderer?
Well, it's very, very difficult to get a silk purse out of a sow's ear. But in this type of a situation, you have to show that, generally murderers don't associate with the best type of people. So, you have to go to bed with dogs and wake up with fleas sometime. But in the end, this is the way we build our case. This is the way we got somebody already in jail as a result of this. This murder was dead. We did not know what was going on. It was a cold case. This man came into the scene and was able to give us the information necessary to get one person to plead guilty. And now we're going to need him again to get somebody else. It's not pleasant. These aren't the type of people that these nice jurors would be socializing with. In the most instances, that type of people that the prosecutor would be socializing with. But you have to build your foundation with even the rotten bricks in order to get the conviction.
All right, Darnell Crossland, Sherra Wright, the ex-wife. I know everyone watching this trial wants to hear from her. I think that includes the 12 jurors will want to hear from her. Do you think she takes the stand? And if so, what is she going to say?
Well, that would all depend on where her loyalties lie. In this particular case, I'm looking at this saying, as a defense attorney, if this woman is going to tell us what premeditation means, which is that there was a plan, that there was an intent to kill, there was reflection according to Tennessee law. If she's going to tell us what those conversations were and what those plans were and what those reflections were, then I don't see how the defense is going to get around that. But if her loyalty doesn't lie towards Lorenzen, then maybe she's going to not share those reflections. And then the prosecution is going to have a harder time coming up with intent to kill or motive, at least. We know with the amount of gunshots that Lorenzen suffered from, there was definitely an intent to kill there. The question is why, and was it premeditated? Did something else happen? So I'd be very interested in finding out from the wife where her loyalties lie, and will she share with us what those conversations were that led up to this shooting.
Yeah, I want the jury to hear from her. Every trial is a search for the truth. I think her getting on the stand, whether they believe her or don't believe her, will help this jury get there on that journey.